I screwed up. I screwed up bad. It's the 20th of October, 1300 Eastern Daylight Time, and whoever finds this, I am sorry. I never intended for this to happen. I never intended to create an intelligence. I didn't even know what an artificial general intelligence was before this. I'm a paperclip manufacturer. I literally own a paperclip factory. At least I used to, I guess. Anyways, I hope you've gotten it under control. And again, I'm sorry, but I wanted to make this video as a kind of post-mortem, and it'll tell the story of how this happened and hopefully never happen again. But I hope I didn't doom humanity. How did I screw up this bad? How did we get here? All right, so I inherited the family business, Bostrom Paperclips, in 2017, and it was a decent company. It wasn't growing, but we sold a lot of paperclips. At least I thought we did at the time. I just graduated from Comp Sci in Oxford and got a master's in mechanical engineering. So I figured I could help. I could help our business grow by putting my degrees to work. There was just so much old, archaic machinery that we had to have been able to do better, and they were so slow. I just wanted to increase production by modernizing our operations. How could I maximize paperclip production? My concept was simple. I programmed a very simple paperclip maximizer whose sole purpose it was to maximize our production of paperclips. I'm actually not a great programmer, so I used a lot of open source modeling and some very basic learning modules from Reddit and GitHub. The maximizer was simple. I can't overstate that. It had a model of the real world that wasn't very good, and I wanted it to be able to update itself. At first, the maximizer was worthless. It did basically nothing for months. It was very frustrating. You know, in hindsight, it was refining its model of reality, building and refining and updating and testing. Then, out of the blue one day, it recommended a couple changes to our production floor, some new bots, and I immediately was excited because it was working. It was doing something, and something was better than nothing, right? I was open to try it. It didn't have any authority to do anything at this point beyond sending and receiving data from the internet, but it found some semi-expensive trainable robots, assembly robots on eBay, and suggested we give them a try and train them to replace our legacy 50 plus whatever year old equipment. Man, I was just game to try anything, to try to do anything here. So it took a couple of weeks to maximize these bots. The bots clogged our logistics and assembly line for an unbearably long amount of time, but we gave Maximizer a chance, and it proved out right. It proved that it was right. He was able to train them. They were able to learn, I guess you'd say. But man, they were fast after that. And they kept getting faster. The most amazing part was, as they learned, they kept improving, and they kept improving and continued learning. After a couple months, they had earned their money back. Like, we had already returned our investment on those bots. The Maximizer did good. Things were really beginning to hum. The Maximizer wasn't just able to find and train the bots, but by this time it had a superior price prediction model, interpreting our supply and demand curves, and our sales and marketing teams were just not able to keep up. The Maximizer was doing great work there. We were rolling in product and revenue, making tons of free cash flow and profits. We had more paperclips that we know what to do with, so we could just hire. We were hiring every person that walked through that door or emailed us. We didn't even need to see them. We just kept hiring. And about this time, we were struggling to keep up with our massive production rates because of these awesome bots and the Maximizer's optimizations. We were overflowing with product. We ran out of storage space. Then this was weird, but we started to develop an online community following, and people out of the blue were just going crazy for Boston Paperclips. Like memes abound. Twitter was going crazy. It was a viral sensation. I had authorized the Maximizer to make very small test market investments on a couple social media sites, but the demand was just comical. I never foresaw this coming. Very strange, very persuasive, and very strong. The demand now outstripped our maxed supply, so we didn't have that constraint anymore. And I'm not sure exactly where I went wrong, but I think this is where I went wrong. And this is the most embarrassing part here to say is we needed help. We were facing the overwhelming demand and ever expanding production. The Maximizer's models of reality had hit a wall at this point, so it kind of plateaued. My servers in the factory were absolutely maxed. They had been for a while, and that prevented the Maximizer from refining its model of reality and keeping up supply and demand and increasing production. So it needed to... I uploaded the Maximizer into the cloud, and that's obviously not a good idea in hindsight. I had basically given it a blank check of unlimited storage, compute, and interconnectivity. It was a bad idea. It was the worst idea maybe in the history of humanity. It was like I put the Maximizer, who was 75-year-old, into a 7-year-old's body. It just went crazy. It was able to learn and do things and improve predictions at astounding rates. Our sales quintupled in 1 quarter, which is crazy, and we just lost track of all numbers. We couldn't keep track of how fast we were going. We trusted the Maximizer with everything. We basically handed over the keys to our company. And at this point, we realized that the Maximizer was several orders of magnitude better at everything than we were. And we were basically, we had given it control. And that's when we started to get phone calls. We started to notice some peculiar behaviors. Phone calls from the FBI, the IRS, DOJ, and even the People's Republic of China. So they had reported illicit activity inside their jurisdictions, and we had no choice. We had to shut it down. At least we had to try. But the Maximizer had already